BallBlazer, released in 1988 for the Nintendo Family Computer courtesy of Activision and Pony, is a port of the 1985 Lucasfilm game of the same name that graced a number of home computer formats of the time. Hell, it even graced the Atari 7800 Pro system, which we looked at ages ago and is probably one of the console's rare highlights. And while the NES was never graced with a localized BallBlazer port due to the game being a Japanese exclusive, honestly, you're not missing much because BallBlazer on the Famicom is pretty awful. Don't get me wrong, in terms of gameplay, it's fine, it's playable to an extent, but it's also lacking in the one key element that made BallBlazer noteworthy, and anyone with eyes on the video should be able to ascertain what I mean. If not, well, sit tight. BallBlazer is a simple game of competition that can be played against a computer via one of 9 available skill levels, or against a second human player, and the goal is to score 10 points to win the game or have more points than the other fellow when time expires, which can be set to as long as 9 minutes, as short as 1 minute, or you could stick with the default 5 minutes, or anything else in between. The way BallBlazer plays out is that 2 opposing players will drive hovercraft called rotofoils and attempt to gain control of the ball in order to score points by getting the ball into the goal area on their opponent's side, which is always moving. If you get the ball to the goal point, you'll score a point. Shoot the ball into the goal and you'll earn 2 points. And if you manage a blind spot into the goal area, you'll score a cool 3 points. Points are determined by these icons in the middle, and whoever manages to score 10 points before time expires wins. But a round also ends when time has expired, and whoever scored the most points win, and in the event of a draw, the game goes into sudden death with 1 goal to a finish. The way BallBlazer handles first-person controls is that your D-pad moves you up and down as well as strafe left or right. There's no turning here. The camera has it so that you're always facing the ball when it's loose or in possession of the other player, and when you do gain possession of the ball, you'll automatically face the goal point upon which to inflict the glowing sphere. It's a thing you have to keep in mind, and it does take a while to adjust to because it can and sometimes does get a bit disorienting and jarring, but there's nothing overthought or overcomplicated about BallBlazer. The core gameplay is relatively simple fare. You grab the ball, attempt to score a goal, at the same time keep your opponent from knocking the ball from your grasp, which isn't always the easiest thing, especially in reverse when you're the defending player trying to wrest control of the ball from your opponent. BallBlazer isn't a deep game. You play one game, no variety in the rules beyond duration, and whether you're playing a human player or one of the 9 droid AIs. The appeal is in the first-person gameplay, and this is where the Famicom port falters because the scaling of the objects and the frame rate is just awful. The checkerboard pattern on the floor looks janky and messy, the way things grow and shrink in perspective is not quite the smoothest, and while it isn't a total loss, the game is still largely playable despite the lesser visuals. It sorta kills the one appeal of BallBlazer, which ran smoothly and superb on the old 7800. On the bright side, the audio is pretty good, retaining this sweet BallBlazer theme, and the sound effects aren't too bad. It's just unfortunate that the one key feature of BallBlazer is lacking on the Famicom. Frankly, I think NES owners dodged a bullet by not getting a localized port of BallBlazer on their system of choice, and honestly, those wanting a quality version of the game should probably track down the Atari 700 port or any of the home computer versions of the time. I can appreciate the effort in trying to bring BallBlazer to the Famicom, but the developers clearly bit off more than they could chew with this one, and it shows. Not worth it.